Well, my preferred method is to not really use either one of these unless I have to. Obviously, this one's really easy. If it works, it works. I can tweak this a little bit. But over up here in the left corner of the actual dialog box, the toolbar, is the white balance selector tool. And the way it works is this. You click on the tool, and then you click on something in your photo, not something that's supposed to be white, but something that's supposed to be the color light gray. Okay? So you might see video people actually balancing to white. But with photography, we balance to 18% gray, or just a very light gray. The problem is, in this photo, there's not a lot of light gray. I mean, you can click on, his shirt, and it gets you a little closer, because it's kind of a blackish gray. But if you click anywhere else, you're going to get, it doesn't have an obvious black area, or a gray area. So let me do this. Let's hit cancel. Let's go open a photo from a different shoot. Here, this is a gentleman I shot in a studio in New York, and the studio itself was basically white and gray. The whole studio was a natural light studio. It was white and gray, and that's one reason why I know that background behind him should not be this yellow. It should be, and I probably had the white balance set at something crazy. Maybe I had it set to cloudy, which is what I shoot with a lot outdoors and things. It's probably my default setting for this, but anyway, I don't have to worry about it as much because I shot in RAW. So here's what I would do in this case. That area back there is supposed to be either white or gray, at least a light gray. So I just get the tool, click right here, and it corrects the photo. All right. Now, sometimes if I can't find an area like that, sometimes I'll just shoot for the middle of their eye, even though it's a little dark. Sometimes that'll do it pretty decent too. That one made me want a little colder than I'd like it to. Let's try over here, a little bit warmer. See, that looks nice. When you're doing the white balance for portraits of people, ideally you want people to look a little warmer. They actually look better. If they don't look warm, they almost look a little cold. I mean, it doesn't look good. Their flesh tone kind of looks clammy. So basically, people look better warmer. Now, you have to keep that in mind when you're doing your white balance, because you might get something that's perfectly light gray. You click on it, but it just doesn't look very realistic, and that causes a problem. They look kind of icky. So, and that's a technical term, by the way, icky. So in this case, if I wanted to warm him up just a little bit more, I might go to the temperature slider, drag him a little bit more. But that's plenty. I think he actually looked better with where I just had it clicked on him. So that's just a quickie to set it. Now, here's another nice little shortcut. This is one of those ones that you might slip by you here. If you want to reset to your as shot white balance, all you have to do is go back to the tool and double click on it. Just double click on the tool, automatically sets you back to as shot. So all I would do in this case is kind of go over here, click, and then I'm done. An easy fix. So we'll just click done, and it will update here in the bridge in just a moment. There we go. So you can see the better white balance. Here's another photo. Same guy, and we know where to click now, right? Just kind of go back here, find that spot in the background. Whew, that looks a lot better. And if you wanted to make them a little bit warmer, in this case I might, there are a couple things you can do. Number one is try to click on something else that's supposed to be gray, see if you can come up with a little bit warmer tone. Or just grab the temperature slider and drag a little bit more that way. That looks a little bit better. Okay, now let's go ahead and just click done for this one. So what do you do if you have a situation like I did back here? All right, where you don't have a real obvious gray area to click on. Well, one thing that you could have done in a studio situation like this that would make your life a lot easier is to have your subject hold a gray card. So what I did was, to make my life easier, was when I shot the female subject over here, I actually had her hold a gray card. Now, this card is the card from the back of my book, the Photoshop CS3 book, or CS2 book, there was in both books, for digital photographers. And I just had her hold this card for the very first frame, and here's what that does. It's actually perforated. If you look kind of closely here, you can see it is perforated. And I had her just hold it up, and here's why. If you take a look at the card itself, it actually says on it, highlight, shadow, mid-tone, and this says camera raw. And what that's basically going to let you do is this. All you do here, if you want a instant white balance with no guessing games, all you do is you click on the white balance tool. You go back over here and you click right there. Boom. the white balance is done. There's gray, absolutely a nice gray right there in the image. So if you have this book of mine, go to the back, tear out your card, and before every shoot, in the very first frame, once you have the lighting the way you like it, have your subject hold that card, and then it's very, very easy to fix it from there on out. Now, let's go ahead and click done there. Now, what I can do now that I fixed the white balance for her shot is I can apply that white balance inside the bridge to other shots and fix a bunch of shots at once. So I've got it looking the way I like it there. What I can do is control-click on a Mac or right-click on a PC, and up pops this menu. I'm going to go to Develop Settings. Okay, these are the settings that you would have had in Camera Raw, and I'm just going to choose Copy. So it's going to copy the settings from that image. Then I'm going to select this image and go all the way to the end and select all the way to the very last photo, which is right of her, is right there. Then I'm going to control-click on Mac or right-click on PC on any of the other photos. I'm going to go back under Develop, and now I'm going to hit Paste. So I copied the settings from the first image. I hit Paste. It brings up this window and asks me, well, what is it that you want to copy? Well, by default, it wants to copy and paste everything. But I just want to copy and paste the white balance, so that the white balance setting from that first photo, the one where I clicked on, where she was holding the gray card, will now be applied to every single photo in the shoot with one click. Watch. I do that. It'll take a moment for it to catch up, but there it did. It just applied that setting. So you can see it starting to kick in right down here. Look at that. They were all too yellow, and look, one by one, they're switching back to the more neutral tone. Very good. Very, very quick way. See, these are still catching up here. There they go. There they go. All right. So the white balance setting from this photo where she was holding the card is now applied to this photo, this photo, this photo, and every other one that we selected from the whole shoot. If you have 400 shots, 500 shots, 1,000 shots, boy, that's a quick way to get your white balance set, I can tell you. So that's the third method that I would use. And though in that case, he's shot under very, very similar lighting, you can go ahead and let's see what it would do if we applied those to him. So let's try a couple of his shots. Control-click on Mac or right-click on PC, go to Develop Settings, Paste, and let's paste that white balance on him and see how that looks. Give it a shot. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty darn good. Well, it was, again, shot under almost the identical light settings. I mean, a little bit different, but I mean, very, very, very similar. You can see I move the light source a little bit, but not a whole bunch. I mean, you can see it's an Elinchron Optibank, and it's up here in the right corner of the glasses, and it's over here in the right corner of the glasses again here. So those are some ways to set white balance. White balance is such an important part of this whole process. It's going to take a lot of your color correction problems away, and it's the first thing I do to every single photo in Camera Raw.